and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with a video that I said I would make a really long time ago, and that is a video for my fan account for Beast's fan meeting in Melbourne. So we decided to leave on the 1st of December. The concert was on the 2nd, but I always like to get into whatever city it's in the day before, just in case something goes wrong, because you never know what's gonna happen. And thank goodness we did, because we started off our trip with my friend missing the flight, and we were very lucky that they had seats on the next flight to actually put us on, and they put us on for free. So I'm just like, praise to the airline gods, whoever made that happen, because otherwise we would have been in serious trouble. I could barely even afford the flights over here once, let alone actually paying twice. So I'm really glad that that worked out. And I'm just gonna fast forward to the 2nd of December because the first day just involved a lot of shopping and a lot of eating. So I'm just gonna skip to the second day, which is like the Beast day, which is like why you're probably watching this video. So I'm just gonna start from the afternoon, because I decided that I was gonna take like 4 hours to do my makeup, because I take a very long time to do my makeup, because I just want it to be perfect. I find that the best makeup happens when you've like allocated yourself like all the time in the world to do it. So I realized that I forgot my concealer. So our hotel was like really near like the shopping, like the main shopping street in Melbourne. I think it's like Swanston Street. I can't actually remember. So I decided that I was gonna go out and buy a new concealer, which is really annoying because I just bought a new concealer the other day and I just had to buy a whole nother one. So as I was leaving my hotel to go and buy the concealer, I see two white vans drive past my hotel entrance door thingy, and I hear a lot of screaming girls, and I'm just like, don't tell me that this is Beast. Like, is this actually Beast? And I get closer because they're parked at like a pedestrian crossing, which is like right in front of the doors of the hotel. And sure enough, it was Beast. I saw Bae, I saw Hyunseng, I saw Yosob. Yosob was like waving at people and people were screaming, and I was just like, oh my god, it's Beast. And this was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the concert wasn't until like 6:30, so I was just like, why are they not there yet? But I don't know. So that was like a pre-fan meeting like encounter with Beast, which was actually really cool. It was just funny to just like walk out of my hotel at the exact minute that they're driving past. So that was pretty cool. And then I rang my friend, and then I was like, guess who I just saw? And she's like, who? And I'm like, the reason that we're here. And she's like, Beast. And I'm like, yeah, I just saw Beast. And it was really cool. So we left to then go to the theatre, and it was seated, like it was a seated concert like the Regent Theatre is. So I really didn't like feel any need to get there any earlier than I had to. And doors were supposed to open at 6:30. And the concert was supposed to start at 7. So we get to the Regent Theatre about 6:15, because I had to go like the wheelchair entrance, which is like around the back, and like someone has to take you up there and take you up the elevator. So I had to get there early, and we got there, and then we noticed that a lot of the staff were like running around kind of crazily, and there were staff from the theatre that were like holding the doors just to make sure that like no one went through the doors early, which was all good. And when it came to 6:30, they weren't opening doors, and we're just like, oh, what's going on? Like, they're actually pretty late. And the reason why they were late was because JK Entertainment, who was looking after this fan meeting, decided to start collecting ticket stubs. Like, the ticket stubs are these things that go on the end of your ticket, and they decided to start collecting them at 6:30. And they didn't even have like a method for collecting them. They just had this jar, this plastic jar, and they'd go around to everybody individually we weren't even in a line. We were just like sprawled out like in the hallway, and they just decided to just go up to everyone individually and collect them, which took ages. It took so long. It would have been so much better if they had organized it beforehand got the people at the doors to hold the jar and just tell everyone to put their ticket stubs inside these if you wanted to be eligible for any of the lucky draws with Beast. That would have been so much easier. We would have gotten in so much earlier. It was just crazy. And I actually heard from some new friends that were there. We went out to dinner afterwards and they were telling me that they had the printed e-tickets that you buy online, and because they had no stubs, everybody that had an e-ticket wasn't actually eligible for the draw. When we watched the lucky draws happen, there was not a single one of the big paper tickets inside. So that essentially meant that if you had an e-ticket, you were not eligible to be picked for anything with Beast. Like you were not in the running at all, which really sucked. And I heard on the Facebook pages after the event that the people in the dress circle, which is upstairs, they didn't get their tickets collected either. So no one in the dress circle got called out. And I remember after the show, I was sitting next to some of the staff from JK and I saw a lot of people go up to them and say which seats won, because I had a B and this person downstairs had a B, so it's like which one actually won. So that was really poor organisation on JK Entertainment's part. So once we finally got into the venue, which was half an hour late, we finally got to find our seats. We were in the 8th row, which honestly wasn't too bad. I was expecting them to be a lot worse than they were. I remember being in those same seats for B104, but this time, because I actually have glasses, I actually finally went and got glasses. The view was really great. The view was better than I expected, and I was really happy about that. So the concert started at, I don't even know what time. It just wasn't the time that it was supposed to be. And the host of SBS Pop Asia came out. I remember talking about SBS Pop Asia in my BTS fan account. They're like a show on SBS that have an Asian music video show, and they mostly do Korean stuff. They do like a little bit of Japanese, but mostly K-pop, and they do a lot of stuff with the K-pop idols, which is really cool. So the host of SBS Pop Asia was the host of the fan meeting, which I thought was really great, because obviously they're Australian and they just knew how to communicate really well. Like, it was just a really fluent communication that I really think that this fan event needed, because no members of Beast really speak English. So that was really great. So before anything started, like before the concert started or anything, because it wasn't like a proper concert where you have like the big opening and everyone starts screaming. It was just kind of like, it was just a bit more chilled, because the first thing that happened was they started the draw for the first game. The first game was going to be on stage with the Beast members, and each Beast member had like a teammate, which was going to be someone from the audience. So they basically picked out 6 girls to go on stage, which I thought was really great, because normally how I've seen it done in concerts is the artists just pick them out from the audience themselves, which is great. It's great, like that's fine if someone catches their attention and they want to like play the game with them, that's great. But with that, only really the first few rows are actually the only people that they can see. The stage lights are really blinding, and you can only see the first few rows. So by doing this, everybody had a fair chance in the lucky draw. I didn't get picked. I am not gonna lie. I've spent a lot of the first concert being like the first part of the concert being disappointed, but it's okay. So then after they picked out the lucky fans, Beast came out and they performed a few songs. They performed Yeah and a few of their other really big hits that I actually can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe it was Good Luck, or maybe that was towards the end, but these songs were the ones that really got the crowd hyped up, which is really cool. And after they performed Good Luck, that was when the lucky fans got to come up on the stage and they got to play the first game. So they introduced themselves to the audience and introduced themselves to Beast, and Beast were really happy to see them, like hugging them and stuff, which I just thought was beautiful, because the girls were not coping, and I was just like, this is really beautiful. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit jealous. Like I saw the way that Dongwoon was hugging one of the girls. I was just like, oh, so beautiful. And I'm pretty sure one of the fans got kissed by Yourself. I don't quote me on that. I didn't see it. I just heard from my friend afterwards, and I heard from the audience around me afterwards that was what happened. So the lucky fan that got kissed by Yourself is probably not even coping with their lives right now. Like, beautiful. So they started by introducing themselves, and they started the game, which was a game where the Beast members had to wear headphones and they had to sing along to Australian songs to the fan, and the fan couldn't hear because obviously like Beast had headphones, so they just had to guess what song it was just based on how well Beast sing it, and Beast don't speak English, so I just knew that this was going to be absolutely hilarious. I just loved this game so much. It was really hard. Beast were not doing a good job. Like, they just didn't know the songs, they just didn't know what they were doing. They kind of fumbled over the English pronunciation, which was so funny. And I just remember, all I remember is Dongwon trying to say the word kookaburra. And like, you can kind of imagine, you should be able to kind of imagine what it sounded like instead of kookaburra. It got to about 5 members in, and everyone just lost. It just wasn't working out that well. I'm pretty sure that Dojun was first, followed by Hyunsang, followed by Yoseop, followed by Kikwang, followed by Junghyun, and then followed by Dongwon. I feel like that might have been the order. And it basically only got up to, I think by the time it got up to Kikwang, then finally that was the only time that somebody actually won. And she actually won fair and square. She picked it out. It was, I can't remember what specific song it was, but I feel like it might have been the Kookaburra one or Waltzing Matilda. I'm not exactly sure. So the songs that I definitely remember that there was definitely 12 Days of Christmas, the Australian version, which I couldn't even remember. And then there was I Still Call Australia Home, there was Waltzing Matilda, and the Kookaburra song. And another person ended up winning as well, kind of, but they also kind of cheated because Dongwon was shouting out things about kookaburras. So technically they didn't give it to her, even though she got it, they didn't give it to her, which was kind of sad. But hey, she still got to be on stage with Beast, so she's, at the end of the day, even though she didn't win, she's still a winner, if you get what I'm saying. The winner got a group photo with Beast on stage, which was really beautiful. And yeah, so that was the first game. And then they kind of had like a little bit of an interview thing, just asking them questions and like introducing the Beast members, which was really cool. And they just threw out the funniest one-liners, the funniest English one-liners I've ever heard. I'm pretty sure like Dongwon just shouts out, "I love kangaroos," and we're just like, we are just laughing. I don't know why I keep talking about Dongwon. I don't know. Like, Hyunsang is my bae, but he was really quiet. He was really quiet on stage. The two really talkative ones, Yoseop was really talkative, and Junghyun was pretty quiet. But he was able to speak some English, which is really cool, but I just feel like he's like the really shy and reserved type, so he didn't really talk much. Hyunsang was really quiet, and I think Dojun was pretty out there, and Kikwang was pretty out there as well. And then they got to the second, they just kept performing songs. This was like the second bunch of songs, which I'm pretty sure were the ballad songs, like On Rainy Days, and there was another one that I didn't know, and maybe 12:30? 12:30, they had a little fan event for 12:30 that when we walked in, these girls were handing out these little like glow thingies, but we were only allowed to turn them on during 12:30, and it was going to create like this little light effect in the room, which I thought was absolutely beautiful. I loved that fan idea. That was beautiful, but everyone kind of kept them on after that. So then the second game started, which was really cool. It was basically, they brought out a dartboard which had balloons on it, and then underneath the balloons were prizes, and the prizes would be given out to the fans as part of a lucky draw. So if your ticket got called, you obviously won the prize that corresponded with the ticket number, which I thought was really cool. And then they started by throwing the darts, and they were only supposed to get one shot each. So really it could have ended up either way. We could have ended up with no prizes, or we could have ended up with a few prizes, or we could have ended up with a lot of prizes, just depending on what they hit and what the quantities were underneath the balloon, which was pretty exciting because like you really stood a chance of getting something. A few of them missed, but we gave them an extra shot just because like we need to have full faith in Beast that they were going to deliver on this, and deliver they did. I remember the Beast members really wanted to get the teddy bear, and I remember that they were like running up to the board and like trying to see underneath the balloons to see which one was the teddy bear, and they actually did. I think it was Kikwan that went for the teddy bear, and Kikwan did this really awesome thing, right? So he stood like with his back to the dartboard, so he couldn't see. He just knew where the things were, and he just shoved the dart like between his legs and just threw it. And he hit a balloon, and I was screaming. So I was like, oh my god, Kikon, like that was one of the coolest things I have ever seen. And he hit a no prize balloon. And we're just like, what? Like, are you serious? And so like, of course, because he did such an awesome shot, we had to give him another chance, like, of course. We won prizes like the teddy bear. There were group selfies with the members. So if you won one of those, you got to go out in the corridor at the end and take a group photo with Beast. And then however many fans won just got to be a part of it. There was a signed tumbler. There was signed CDs. And I'm pretty sure that was it. I wasn't lucky enough, but hey, it was still an amazing experience. And then they finished up with their crowd pleasers, which was Shock, which was amazing. My heart was going like 50 million miles per hour. This was one of the songs that got me into K-pop along with Fiction. So I was really, really happy when they saved the best for last. Like they really did. And then they did Beautiful Night, and then they came back for the encore. They decided to tell fans to like come up close to the stage. So everyone stood up and I just ran like I did with B104. So I didn't actually see in the encore because a lot of the fans just pushed past me, but it wasn't enough to ruin my mood. I did get to see the Beast members' faces. I was able to look upwards and see their faces. So I got to see their faces close up, but only when one member came to my side of the stage. So Hyunsen came, Yosub came, Dongwon came, and I think Dojun maybe? I don't remember Junghyun coming over this side of the stage, but I got to see Bae. I got to see Bae really close up, so I was really, really happy with that. So that was the Beast concert, and then they told us to sit down and wait for the fan meeting. And I was in a wheelchair, and to get down to the foyer, there's stairs. So I obviously knew that something different was going to have to happen, like it did with B1A4. And so they told me what was happening, then just wait till last, and you know, you'll be last, and Beast will come up the stairs like to meet you. And I was like, okay, it sounds like a pretty good deal. It sounds pretty good. So we waited, and all the fans went through the high touch, and I ran into the new friends that I made at BTS, which I mentioned in my fan account last time. And so they were going to be doing this high touch the same way that we were on top of the stairs. So we were just waiting for Beast to come by, and I see them down there and they're doing their high touch with their fans, and it's very quick. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then like you're gone. So that's what I was expecting. That's what I was expecting was going to happen for us still. I was just going to expect that it was going to be really, really quick. And I saw Hyunseng like breakdancing like at the table, and I was just like, oh, okay. Like, it's a bit weird, but okay. And then the security goes down and tells them that there are fans upstairs, like me and my friend and the 2 other new friends. So we are just waiting for Beast, and I just see Hyunseng just like run up the stairs. Like he just bounds up the stairs and like comes to me first, and I'm just thinking, oh my god, like stay calm, whatever you do, stay calm. And he holds out his hand and he's like, hi, and I'm like, hi, and he's like, thank you, and I'm like, thank you, and I'm like, bye, and he's like, bye, but not before, okay guys, he hugged me. He like went like arms out to do the hug thing, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, are you serious? Like, is this actually happening? Like, are we allowed to do this? Because high touches, you're not allowed to like, high touches, you're only allowed to do this. You're not even allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this, just this. So the fact that like they initiated the hug, I thought was really, really cool. I'm not gonna lie, hugs with Beast would have been great, but I wasn't going to initiate it unless one of them initiated it first, just because they're really strict and I just didn't want to annoy the staff with how they'd been so helpful with getting Beast up the stairs. So that was really great. And then I can't remember the exact order, but then I think that it might have been maybe Dorjun. And then, yep, same thing happened. Shook hands, like, hi, thank you, like a hug. I was like, okay, because everyone's hugging me. I'm like, okay. And then I think maybe it was Dongwon, and I was like, okay, another hug. And these were proper hugs. They weren't just like the bro hugs, they were like two-handed hugs. I was just like, oh my god. And then it was Kikwang, and then the Yosom was there, and then I'm freaking out, like replaying it in my mind that I can't even remember if I'm forgetting someone. Ah, yes, Junghyun, yes, he even hugged me, and he is really, really shy, and so I wasn't expecting a hug from Junghyun, but he hugged me. Guys, I got hugs from all 6 members of Beast, and I remember like just looking them in the eye, and I was just like, oh, like what? And then they were holding out their hand, and I just like messily just like tried to shake their hand, and oh my god, I just was not expecting the hugs, and they just hung around with us for that extra little bit longer. Like, it wasn't just rushed, like we actually got time to kind of hug them and like, you know, just be with them, which was really, really great. We didn't have a conversation really, just because they don't really speak English, and yeah, they didn't really initiate a conversation, and I'm really wary because I don't want to with high touches, I know how brief they're supposed to be, so I don't really want to push my luck, and I didn't want to initiate a conversation. I know my new friend did, and she was talking to Junghyun, and she was like, I love what you do, and he was just like, thank you. And then as they were walking past, I waved at them again, and it was just really, really beautiful. Like, now I can say that I've had photos taken with K-pop idols, I've shook K-pop idols' hands, I've had a conversation with K-pop idols, and I have hugged K-pop idols. So I'm just like adding it to my list of things. Like, I didn't get to hug B1A4, I did get to have a conversation and take photos with B1A4, and I didn't get to hug BTS, but we got proper handshakes. Like, everyone else kind of got this, but we, like, BTS actually like held my hand, and I was just like, oh my god. And they actually said stuff to me, like, I was just like, yeah, so that was really cool as well. And this one was hugs. So every high touch for me has had different experiences attached to it, which has been really, really cool. So I'm just glad that I can say that I have hugged all 6 members of Beast, and my friend gave me permission to tell her embarrassing story of what happened at the high touch. Basically, she is a massive Kikwang fan. She just loves Kikwang. And so when he came to her after me, I didn't know this was happening because I was too busy meeting the other members. I feel like it might have been yourself at the time. And she just screams in Kikwang's face. And Kikwang is like this, and she says hi, like shakes his hand. And as she shakes his hand, she pulls him in for a hug. But it wasn't like the two-handed hug. It was just like the bro hug where you like, and then you do that, and then you do that thing. That was what it was. So that was really funny. He was really shocked, and he didn't really know like what was happening. And she was just like, I'm sorry, I love you. And I was like, oh, that's cute. That was cute. So that was her experience with Kikwang. She's loved Kikwang for years, probably the same amount of time that I've had a crush on Hyunseng, just from Troublemaker. But yes, so I did find out that Beast were not giving everyone the two-handed hugs that I got, which I think it was because I was sitting down. Like, you're not just gonna do the bro hug and like pull if they're sitting in a wheelchair. So I think that was the reason why I got the two-handed hugs, which I was really, really happy about. And then after the concert, we went out we tried to find a Korean barbecue place, but because the concert had been held up so long, by the time we got out, they were all closed. But either way, we went out to eat Chinese food, and we just talked about K-pop for a really long time, and it was really, really great. So all in all, I had a really great time, and it was honestly worth every penny. And I encourage you guys that if Beasts are doing their fan meeting in your country, to absolutely go, because the fan interactions are great. They are so funny. I had so much fun. So yeah, that's it for my fan account of the Beast fan meeting in Melbourne. And if you liked this video, please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you went to the concert, tell me your interactions with Beast. Whether you won something, whether you didn't win something, I want to hear about it. Whether you're in Melbourne, whether you're in Sydney, whether you're in another country, I kind of want to know what your experience was like too. So anyway, that's it for my video. Bye guys! It wanted me to add a third seat, which would have cost me $750.